How's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater. Sorry we are late. It was kind of chaotic getting out of the Florida State Fair today. That is where we were. It's the last day. It was a little sad because we didn't have any of our aquariums set up at the Florida State Fair Aquarium Beautiful contest like we usually do. We did check it out though. We did have a nice time, and I wasn't congested like I was last year. So I got to enjoy it a lot more than I did the years previous. But we are back, trying to make it at 9:30. Still late to that one, but thank you all for showing up. But we got quite the topic for tonight. We will be talking about Neocaridina and Caridina shrimp, as well as Sulawesi shrimp, all different varieties of shrimp that you can keep in the same tank without them mudding up and not having to do a ton of culling or anything like that. So usually when I start off with these things, I dive right into Neocaridina since that's what most of the people have. And we all know that if you cross different varieties of Neocaridina, more than likely you're going to end up with wilds. And you take a $3 shrimp and cross it with a $6 shrimp, and you end up with like $1 shrimp, right? So that kind of defeats the purpose of what most of the people are trying to do when they want to make something different, or just keep up a nice live colony of good quality stock that they can sell and make a little side profit, side hustle off of, right? So what Neocaridina shrimp can you keep together? Well, the ones that I recommend the most are going to be the red cherry and red velvet varieties together. And then as long as you have a actual true colony of blue dreams, you could keep all three of them together. But there is still a chance that the genetics have spliced, or some type of mutation has happened, and you could have a line that's crossed, a red cherry line that's crossed with Bloody Marys or something like that. So you really have to have pure lines of all three of those in order for these to work. But for the most part, you cross red cherries with blue velvet, and that's how you get red rillies, right? So you're going to get red rillies out of those. And because you're going to get red rillies, there is going to be culling to do, but you're not going to be culling wilds. And then as long as the blue dreams are derived from blue velvets, you can throw those into the mix, and then you can get some red rillies with the deep blue bodies instead of the blue velvet sky blue bodies. So that is the one that I recommend if you want to, keep multiple different varieties of shrimp together. The easiest way to do that is just to buy some red rillies that have the blue bodies already in them, breed them out, and you're going to get solid reds. You're going to get solid blues. You'll get red rillies with the blue bodies, red rillies clear body, as well as some very splotchy red rilly culls. So we got shrimp. He's like, "Hey, dude, you don't got anybody to join you." Oh, I can't really turn it all the way around. And then he ducked down. How long have I been muted for? The whole stream? Unplugged the mic. You're muted. Can't hear you, sir. From the very get-go, huh? Well, should I start all over? Since you showed the room. All right. Since I showed shrimp. Oh, I unplugged the mic. It's all shrimp's fault. All right. Can anybody tell me what the last shrimp that I was talking about? I heard you about creating red lilies. All right. Wow. This is why I need Shelby here. I've got no phone, so anybody that would message me about it, my phone's on charger. So, and Shelby's getting the baby ready to join me, so nobody could page her either. So, thank you. Those for being patient. I actually noticed the mute button before I made it into chat. All right, so talked about red lilies, and you can basically get red cherries, blue velvets, and if you threw in blue dreams that were derived from blue velvets, you can get the deep dark blue ones. So, oh man, well, I guess that's what the super chats are for. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I guess I should read the super chats and go straight to them from now on. That's a good call. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. And then we also got Johnny Best with the 5 gifted memberships. If anybody got one of those memberships, please email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com. And go ahead and send us your YouTube name and your address, and we will email or send you out I have a sticker over there. I'm not going to risk bumping and muting the whole live stream again. That'll be a bunch of shenanigans I don't want to deal with. So we do have holographic stickers, though, and we give you a 10% off code to our website, tgoeshrimp.com. So, all right, let's pick back up. And thank you, Johnny, and the rest of the gang. I need a little pick-me-up. So if you asked any questions while I was muted or up above, I missed out. Here's the first question. So if it's anything before this, I'm just going to move forward. Yeah, Jesse's question, make it through. He's lucky he's cute. He's lucky he's cute, and he's very, very protective. The other night, we had some issues, and Shrimp did his job. He was very, very, very much well behaved that night. So, which dwarf shrimp has the longest / shortest expected lifespan? The longest is going to be the Opaula, which you said dwarf shrimp. You didn't say freshwater, so the Opaula count. And then the shortest life, I would say Neocaridinas, if you kept them in warm water, only last till about 2 years, maybe 3 years. I have some tiger shrimp that lasted 6 years and went to 6 different shows. So those are definitely estimates. I don't really have like any shrimp that I tested, but the Opaula are supposedly like 16 years old at the oldest. If I wanted to breed quantity of shrimp, would I be better to have 1 big colony or 2 colonies? So if you wanted quantity, the best thing to do is the most water volume that you possibly could have. So if you've got room for 1 big colony and that's the size water tank that you can do in filtration, go with that. If you don't have the space in 1 location to do that, but you've got 2 locations to go big, then do 2. 2 is always better than 1. Grant, are you working on any of the orange-eyed Neocaridinas? No, not yet. Waiting for someone in the States to get any of the legit ones. You definitely got to be careful. I've seen a bunch of like golden eye or the white eye or yellow eye ones that they're calling special, but they still have black pupils. So if the pupils are black, to me, that's nothing special, because all the ones that have like white eyes instead of full black eyes, I can go in the coal ponds and catch a bunch of those. So usually the lower grade Neocaridinas will have like lacking pigment around the pupils of the eyes, but all the ones in the United States so far have black pupils, to my knowledge. Do any Neos breed until death, or do they stop in old age? I don't think any shrimp really stop. I don't have any that are like not producing until the very end. At least not that I noticed. There's a lot of tanks on a lot of shrimp. Are you going to Repticon this weekend? I don't think we are. We're probably going to be getting ready for Colorado. That would be my guess. I got Colorado in 2 weeks, and then in 3 weeks we've got Dan's fish coming by. He's doing a talk for our club, and he wants to come by and see the house. So I've got to get my butt into gear and clean the glass for a bunch of shrimp tanks and stuff like that for him to do some videos. So this was pretty much my last hoorah vacation type day off. Tomorrow we got to catch up on packages since today was a holiday, and then it's water changes until Colorado, and then we go do that show, get back and do some more water changes, and then Dan's here. Any word if a shrimp show will be happening at Aquascaping? As of right now, we are planning out the contest. So my exact involvement and everything like that should be for sure Dallas, and then we'll see from there. But I gotta play it by ear still. And we're figuring out some things, because it's going to be costing us a good chunk of change. We gotta figure out a way to get sponsors and make it to where the shrimp contest is still benefiting hobbyists and breeders alike. So back to the actual topic at hand. Got muted, got out of control, caught up in chat. If you guys had a question, I missed it, please ask it now. Talked about the red Rillies. Then we've got Bloody Mary, Blue Diamond, Carbon Rilly, Chocolates, and Black Rose. These are all along the same line. And then I've said it earlier, but I was muted. So life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And this is the same exact thing when you come with our chocolate Neocaridinas. We do mainly the Black Rose, but out of the Black Rose, we'll get chocolates, Bloody Marys, Blue Diamonds, the Carbon Rillies. We'll also get like a random green every now and then, and even more rare than that, we'll get like a orange one or a yellow one. So they truly are a good mix, and since you can keep them all together in the same tank, you might as well just start with like Black Rose, keep the ones you really like, call the rest, and you won't really get any wilds even if you keep them in the crossbreed. There's always chance of mutations and stuff like that, and you can get wilds again, but you call those out, and it should be way easier to maintain than like a Skittles tank or something like that. I have a Red King Kong tank and Blue Bolts. Will they produce more of the same? Yeah, I have those on the list to go more in depth with those in a little bit. Where is your partner in crime? That question couldn't have been any better timed. Here's
she is
the appetizer, is what I was gonna say, and then here's the main course.
Hi. All right. Oh, you're up with chat. Nice.
So there was a little conundrum.
Oh, okay.
Shrimp made a visit. I decided to show shrimp, and I muted myself and talked for like 5 minutes muted. So we're caught back up though. Not really, but we're there. We're getting there. So here she is. And you looking at the newts? I'll talk about the newts later. All right. So we got so many newts in the house. That's all I gotta say.
He's checking her tag.
But anyways, there's also been people that have been crossing blue dreams with the ocean blues and getting like some wonky little misfunction, like metallic green coloration to them. I'm not sure if that's because of the cross or that could be like just an ocean blue coal or something like that as it is. Good burp. But I haven't really had any issues with most of the people that try to keep the blue dreams and the blue diamonds together. The ocean blues are a newer strain and a newer variety, but for the most part, I think they're just a deeper, darker, solid, higher grade. Another one, blue diamond, and the green coloration could be from a mutation that comes with all different kinds of blues. Our blues on both the blue dreams and blue diamonds. Some of the really old females can get like a little rusty kind of red coloration to them, and some of the head coloration will get that too. And it's not them dying either; it's the actual pigment over it, and it's not like the rust disease. It's just like kind of like a rusty orange-eyed blue tiger.
Did you already answer the question of?
We're done.
red ping
Everything
pong?
above us.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just making sure you didn't miss that one.
We're good.
Oh man, Scotty said she's so cute. I think she grows every week. I stopped when I was like 10. That's funny. Yes, she is growing fast. Sweet Acres Play Farm said, "Do you have the red purple metallic shrimp?"
I have a tank where I get like one or two of them out of like 1,000, and I don't think we currently have one right now. But no, we don't have like a colony of them.
We had one in the bedroom, not our bedroom, Layla's bedroom.
Yeah, it's in the old fancy tiger tank.
Did you already go through your list?
No.
Okay.
I'm still on Neo's.
Okay.
The other ones are the green jades and the green emeralds. There's been quite a few people that have mixed them and haven't really gotten any wilds. We haven't done it though ourselves until recently. Shelby's latest video, not latest, but the Super Bowl video, the Eagles tank had both green jade and green emeralds because of the tanks that I told Shelby she could grab out of were either or, and she thought it was, I can just go to these tanks and grab green shrimp. And so they've been mixed, and I didn't want to put them in the either or tank. And so the smaller mud turtle, I'm sorry, not musk, got a colony of green shrimp, and we'll see how they do mixed up together. You got some questions, or is it on to me?
Super Million Chat's gonna get your attention.
I'm sorry.
So funny. No, he really doesn't read that at all. It's very rare that he ever reads it.
I was going through chat and trying to keep up a little bit, but I was also doing the topics. So as I was talking, I was trying to go down, and then I realized I was muted, and I was like, how long have I been muted?
Johnny said, "What is the minimum amount of shrimp and quantity to start for newbies?"
So we usually recommend 1 to 2 shrimp per gallon, and we usually recommend at least 10 gallons to start out with. So at least 10 shrimp. The more, though, the easier it is to get started with. As they grow up, you get rid of most of the males, and you have a higher chance of the females being happier, stress-free, and having a higher baby survival rate right off the start. So that's usually what we recommend. When I start tanks, I usually start with like 25 to 45 shrimp.
And some Jesse's too. Grant, I got the Fritz glass cleaner recently, and I love it over the API. I don't think I've tried the API, but I like the Fritz one, and I've never had an issue with it. So
So there was one that we tried, and I think we used Zoomeds also, or maybe I'm getting that confused with the chameleon spray. But we thought that the Fritz one, with all that we were going to use, was going to smell and make the whole house, especially with Layla using it, and it didn't. It had no smell to it at all.
It evaporates pretty fast.
And
it's a vinegar base, so vinegar. That's why.
But I thought it was going to smell like vinegar. When you clean with vinegar, it reeks.
But vinegar usually evaporates. It depends on how much you dilute it.
It evaporates into the air and it reeks.
No, not too
bad.
Mike says, thoughts on mochi style ice cream? Absolutely delicious, like the best. We get mochi
just expensive,
all the time. Yeah.
So you don't get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, we used to stop at one of the Asian markets near us that had it, and for a good price. But like the Publix, it's just way overpriced for how little of ice cream. But like, yes, we definitely treat ourselves to it once in a while.
Can you hold this real quick?
Yeah, this. Joey, King of DIY, thank you so much for the $10. Says Shelby's. Where are you going? Shelby's TikTok Valentine's Scape was fire. You two need to do a scape off. Just let us vote. I predict Shelby cooks. Now I understand why Grant got up so fast.
I don't know where it is.
Thank you so much, Joey. I really appreciate that. That one was interesting. There was a whole nother concept for that tank. It was supposed to be a heart shape focal point. Unfortunately, I got too frustrated at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do this. Maybe another time I will try to attempt this. None of my rocks were like shaped enough to create it without it looking too unnatural. But
it's this one.
Is it that one? Because the other one was probably with both of us.
No, the other one's where I beat Jen.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so they're both high up.
You know.
But we've done escape off. She was supposed to win. I threw together a masterpiece, shattered the record.
Oh,
you know.
man.
And I only did that because of the last stream. I said I was gonna have them already ready. But I'm always down for a rematch, though.
We will. I'll have to do a short where we'll go back and forth, and you pick your stone, I'll pick my stone, and we'll do a quick little video. So we'll see.
We need a good little competition, because usually early in the year, we do the Florida State Fair.
Yeah, and that's our competition for the year. That kind of sets the tone.
And I don't know if Dane is watching, but props, Dane. Yeah. Your tanks were very nice this year. I really like Lexi's. I didn't.
They were so cute. If you're watching, Lexi, tell Lexi that they look great. I loved yours too, Dane. Don't worry. But Lexi's were adorable.
But your video is great.
Yeah, it was nice to see that. Yeah, but competitive wise, with the one at Aquashella, I would say that I really did really bad. Not only that, I just didn't really have the right supplies. I was like, can you just pretend you can see what's going on?
I let her pick, though.
I know. No. I was trying to tell them
and then I grabbed everything.
What would happen? It was great, though. Thank you again. API smell with my 150 tanks. Fritz didn't smell after 200, so that's good.
Especially when a child can use it. I knew Layla was going to overuse it, and it was great.
Mike said, oh, good. I just had to check. Your validation means a lot. I came for the shrimp expertise. I stayed for the ice cream. Even his aunt, she never watches our live streams. I doubt it. She's a very busy woman. And she was talking about the ice cream reviews, about how it's
your
become
ice cream
important.
posts are legendary. And I was like, oh man.
So that's really great.
And then she's talking to my kids, trying to get them to come up to Michigan, and she's like, you can come try all the ice cream places. You've not tried any of them. My kids are like, sounds great. When are we going to her house?
Dinky said, best domain host for online sales. So I originally created with BigCommerce, and it's really easy. It's just like a plug and play. Very easy to use. I really love it. I'm absolutely dreading switching over. What we're doing right now is we're switching to Shopify. So Shopify is actually more versatile as far as
It just
like
integrates.
Instagram, TikTok, everything can integrate with it to where I can make a video on another page and then put our shop, like you can link it in, where I can't do that with BigCommerce. They allow Shopify to do it. I don't know if they like pay for it or what it is, but that's the only reason we're going Shopify is because social media is more relevant right now still. So being able to post on Instagram and then, you know, be like, hey, these ocean blues in this video, if you like them, they're here, you know, so it's a little easier. Like the sticks, you know, these are the small little videos that we can do that people like these, and then they can't find them on our page. So it just makes it easier for shopping wise online. So those are the two I would recommend if you're getting starting. There's other ones, but if you're talking about like not creating your own website and you want to just sell, what are you looking for?
My notes. It
Good luck.
disappeared.
You know, you pulled out the trophy and lost your notes.
I know.
They're probably on the floor somewhere. But if you just want to sell like Aquabid, I think it's still pretty good. And there goes the trophy. Good thing that's not a glass one.
Oh, it's good.
It's good. I've broken glass ones. I'm still upset about. Like it still bothers me to this day. So fascinated with what you're doing. And I don't know. There is another one someone said, but I don't really do those. I just sell through our website because it was easy to set up. Chris, exactly what he was. Of course, trophy husband, yes. Sometimes I make him stand on the fireplace to remind myself.
I don't know where they
Thank you so much, Sweet Acres. You really lost them that much?
I
That
guess.
bad? Maybe behind the couch cushion?
I think that's them. I can't get that.
Scotty said, saw your post on baby brine shrimp. The cyst was a game changer for me for sure, but adding a tiny USB heater set at 80 that Stephen P suggested made a huge game changer. I think those would be too fast. If we wanted to hatch them faster, we'd probably do the heater.
Well, it's not that it would be too fast. I just waited the next morning. So I hatched at nighttime with Layla right before she went to bed. And then the next night before she went to bed, again, we checked on them. I could see there was development in the eggs, but they weren't hatched yet. And then the next morning, though, when I woke up, I actually woke up early because I was like, I wonder if the hatchery's going, you know? And so I jumped out of bed, went and checked up on them, and they actually hatched. But I waited until Layla got home for school. So that was I waited so long so I could feed everything the little baby brine shrimp. But it is really helpful with her little tiny fingers to go through and open up all the lids. So it's what's up?
Is that yours?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We need to start putting names on them because we're going to get older and forget who's, and we're just going to argue about
Oh,
it.
that does say Creators
Yeah,
Challenge.
that's what I'm thinking. It's fine.
Oh, all right. I went by dates because that one says 2023.
Yeah.
That one says 2022.
SC Catapult said, did that trophy say ice cream champ? No, I really should get you one this year, though.
No.
Sure.
We need to go back to that ice cream place
And do
in
the
Miami.
challenge.
I'll do the 16 scoop challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be easy.
Somebody did it in 5 minutes. I'm like, did they melt the ice cream and then just chug it? Because
5 minutes
I
doesn't
can't see
Well,
unless the
you're-
scoops are smaller. Because some places, if
They're
you
not
do
gonna
the
be
little
small.
tiny scoops, they're like ice cream scoops. It's like a solid actual scoop. I don't know.
Johnny says, I want to get some stone to restart a Neocaridina setup. What type of rocks would you prefer?
My favorite is lava rock. Hands down, the best rock
Lava
for any Neocaridina or Caridina tank is lava rock. And then the next one is going to be the Dragonstone. You got to thoroughly wash it out, put it on an incline, and just spray it down with a hose until you can't see any mud run off it anymore, and then turn it 90 degrees and then do it again until you've done all 360 degrees twice.
Yeah. Lava Rock's always really great. There's a lot of nooks and crannies for biofilm and shrimp to like crawl in and out of, so it's always pretty good. Larry D says, sorry I have not been around. Interesting year to say the least. What's new with you guys? She's adorable. Congratulations. I am glad you are able to join us. Hope you're doing well.
You know, I thought I stayed out of trouble from the Keystone Clash. I realized now Larry wasn't there.
You're so funny. Richard said, is Dan the March guest speaker at the club?
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. We are excited to see him next month.
Are you currently looking for hotel dates to come up now?
Johnny Best, thank you so much for gifting one Garden of Eater membership. If you did get gifted that Garden of Eater membership, make sure to email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com and we will get your membership sticker out to you and your discount code. Did we have to get to that person?
No, we did not.
Oh, goodness.
If
you're watching and we did not get to that code, you still got to unmute.
All right. I swear I didn't see
Sorry.
it muted.
Again.
That wasn't me. It wasn't.
It was all you.
Whoever got the discount, here's one of the stickers. Johnny also gave 5 earlier. So if anybody got a gift membership, then you can reach out to us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com and we will send you your sticker. And we just need your address as well as a 10% discount code to tgoeshrimp.com.
Travis said, I'm having issues getting my pH below 7. I'm using 88 Amazonia 2 and RODI water with B shrimp minerals. Tank is otherwise bare. Have you used Brightwell dark water or other way to lower pH?
So you've got to have something going on, right? How are you testing your pH? Because there is a chance that you're not cleaning your test tubes right. So if you're doing your pH tests or GH test or whatever you're doing your little drop testing with, right? If you just rinse it out with tap water and then store them, and then a week later you're testing the pH, all of that built up residue calcium from your tap water is going to be left inside that tube and is going to drastically alter the results of your pH kit. The other way is if you're using test strips. Test strips are also very, very inaccurate. So we recommend getting the API drops or the Sarah drops and then testing it out. So you want to make sure that your pH test kits, when you're using them, you go through, you rinse them out with RO water, and then let them drip dry or whatever. But you want to make sure you're not cleaning them out with tap water. That's the most important thing. And then the API drops or the Sarah drops are pretty much the ones that we'd recommend. The pH meters and stuff like that are a little bit too much high maintenance for us.
And the only other reason I could say is hopefully you have cycled the full 30 days because that does matter. And when you're testing it might also be sometimes the pH goes up a little bit, but if it's at 7, that's pretty high for 88 should bring that down no problem unless you have like a very, very small amount in the tank.
But also it depends what kind of B shrimp minerals are you using.
Minerals.
Are you using GH only minerals or are you using KH?
Because then the KH is battling with the substrate and will not buffer.
And it'll make it neutral. So quite a few things there. Hopefully one of those helped out. But feel free to chase us with a follow-up question.
So Mike says, any chance you offer shrimp sticks in an envelope with a stamp instead of flat rate? Unfortunately, no. I have tried to send even just like a couple stickers and a thank you card to one of our members, and that got sent back. So the smallest thing that we send that in is going to be a small flat rate box, which is about $8. So we refund you $7 from our. I'm doing the math right because we charge 16. So we do refund you the money back if I only send out a small flat rate box. So because I'm only paying $8 or is it $9? Because it's $9 for the small flat rate now. It's ridiculous expensive. I don't know why they're so expensive now. Makes me so mad. They used to be like $6.
But I can't remember who told me that they stopped shipping these in envelopes too, because they kept poking holes in the envelopes and they were not even going through. And like
No,
people
ours
were,
just got sent back.
somebody else told me though that they were shipping these out in envelopes and like it looked like the sorting machine. They were getting stabbed through and they're getting the bamboo skewers were going through, and people were getting ripped envelopes without their bamboo skewers.
Oh, that's annoying.
You're gonna break it.
It's almost broken. Thank you so much, Scotty.
Okay. Saving
They
it
will
for
do
later.
really good for you, Ashley. Muted.
Yeah, I'll go through after I hit tonight's topic and talk about the hatchery. So we're all done with Neos. Then we've got crystal shrimp, right? You can keep crystal blacks, crystal reds, snow whites, not black crystals. I'm sorry, I already said that. Snow whites, golden bees, all of those together. You could put super crystals into the mix. You don't really want to mix pure lines because then you lose all of the pure genetics to them and they just become regular crystals. But you can mix all the crystals together and not have any issues. You can also mix in Taiwan bees and keep those all together. Or you could just keep Taiwan bees all on themselves, right? Crystal shrimp crossed with the Taiwan bee is a Michelin. A Michelin shrimp looks just like a crystal shrimp, but it has the genetics, or it is heterozygous for Taiwan bee shrimp. So if a Michelin shrimp crosses with another Michelin shrimp, 25% of the babies will come out crystals, 50% of the babies will come out Michelins, and then 25% of the babies will come out with Taiwan bees. Taiwan bees are a little bit harder to breed than the crystal shrimp. They need more pristine parameters, more stable, consistent pH. So the baby survival rate might be a little bit lower on that end. But a good starting shrimp is Michelins if you can find good quality stock, because if you're getting Taiwan bee babies out of them, it's letting you know that you have a good, healthy tank setup or a good, healthy regimen that you can keep starting with more expensive shrimp in the future.
Larry said, any black rose shrimp available? Yes, we have a bunch of black rose. Out the wazoo.
We stopped doing wholesale, and one of the bigger shrimps that we were selling on wholesale was black rose. And the pond is fully stocked this year, which is what we want.
The other two ponds started doing really well too.
Yeah.
So they look really pretty.
We were doing wholesale last year with one pond, and now we've got 3 ponds jumping.
Dave says, Myra's so cute, making me smile every time. I'm so glad. And she is a little ham. She was so good at the fair today. I mean, that was a long day. And she was so well behaved.
And I had family from Michigan down. I went to go see my cousin play soccer, and she was perfect the whole time for my aunt. So she's a sweetheart.
Back to you.
Then we've got German pin. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let's stick with some tigers. You can do orange-eyed tigers, orange-eyed blue ones I'm talking about, but you can do the blondes, you can do the blues, the royals, and the blacks all in the same tank. You can also mix in reds, and you'll get a variety of different kind of tigers. You get orange-eyed red tiger, blue body, orange-eyed red tigers, or just normal blue tigers with the black eyes even. So you could also potentially get royal blue tigers without the orange eyes, doing that method also. So that would be another cool mix-up tank to have. We have one going, actually. I like it a lot. I get my normal tiger, the purple stripe looking ones out of there.
Mike said, how bad of a cold spell do you get down there, and do you notice any behavioral changes in the outdoor ponds?
So it usually freezes for us about 3 times a year. I think this time we only got 2 freezes, but it just stayed in like the low 50s a lot longer than it usually does. Like most of the time, it'll get to like 30 degrees overnight, and then maybe the next day it'll get to 50, but then the day after that it'll get back up to 70 degrees, and everything kind of gets acclimated. And when it goes dormant, it doesn't really take effect. But it's when we get like a one freeze, and then it just stays below 50s, and then we get another freeze, and it just kind of wipes out everything. But it just kind of dies back and melts back down. And I'm talking about plant life, not the shrimp. I'm sorry. It sounded really bad when it was a shrimp question. But the shrimp, though, they have no issues outside. They do, though, when it gets cold, they disappear. In the first 2 years that we kept shrimp, I was super paranoid that we lost like all of our shrimp, that I should have kept them inside and da-da-da-da-da. But then in like the first sunny day, like when the turtles are outside basking, I know the shrimp are going to be all over the walls of the ponds. So during the winter, they like all go underneath the sponge filter. All the IBC totes have that little handle valve, the drain valve. Sorry. And it's got like a little crevice that goes into it. And I think all the shrimp kind of just hang out in there, in the moss, and just away from sight, so they can't get picked off easily by predators, even though there really isn't any. It's just like a natural instinct that they do. Yeah. You want me to take her?
Just like that out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't. Travis said, "Are you guys switched over to Brightwell soil for your Caridina? Trying to find a new soil since Amazonia Gold is gone. What are the issues with Amazonia 2?" This is a 2-part question. And are you using Brightwell soil for your Caridina now? Can you use Brightwell in an Asian under gravel filter? Any reasons to not use Amazonia 2?
All right, so we are 100% all for the Brightwell soil. Amazonia has just not really been the best. Issues with Amazonia 2 specifically, this is from Plamsky, is a lot of the pH was crashing. It wasn't holding up, and a lot of the soil was turning to mud. So the pH wasn't stable throughout the day. You want stable pH throughout the day, as in you turn the lights on in the morning and you read the pH, and it should be low 6s. And then throughout the day, it shouldn't rise at all. And if it does, then your pH, your soil isn't good anymore, and you need to replace it, or maybe supplement some new substrate in. But you shouldn't use any of the aqua soils with the Asian under gravel filter. They're all going to break down a lot quicker in the under gravel filters. And then, this is great if you want to replace the soil every single year. But a lot of people, they just, it creates a lot of work, it clogs up. So Brightwell recommends on it not to use for undergraduate filters, but it's not really referring to like the box filters, because all of the aqua soil is pretty much going to do the same. And I would say Brightwell is probably going to hold up better than most of them in the little box filters. I answered everything, right?
The amount of people that messaged me that I just got their messages now. You struggling? No, you already caused mayhem today. Already, get out of here.
Don't blame him. It was my fault.
So cute. Yeah, I think you already said everything. That was pretty good. And Dr. Anthony said, "Does the bioactive Fluval reduce pH like the original?" Oh, did we even get any of that? I think
we do. We have some. I need to do a good comparison now, because we have some going for over a year, and then we just started a new tank with some. What's doing?
Shrimp look good.
Oh, shrimp always look good here.
There's a really pretty moss in here. See, I get distracted by our shrimp tank still.
I don't.
Sorry.
Let's do maybe pH tests. This isn't good. Maybe message me. I don't have my phone, so I'm trying to find a way. We'll do a live stream and we'll do pH soil test reviews, and we'll see how they're holding up.
Got it. Yes, thank you for everything. Of course.
Back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the tigers. Now to the German pintos, right? So German pintos are a line of Caridina Marie tigers crossed with crystal shrimp, and then Taiwan bees to get pintos. You can have the zebra pintos, the German spot pintos, and then the German belly pintos. So you can keep all three of those patterns. You can do reds and blacks. You can keep them all in the same tank, mix them all together, and you'll not have any real culls. You'll get some lower grade tie bees and stuff like that, but you're not going to get anything you shouldn't have in that aquarium. Then you also have fancy tigers can produce, and these technically shouldn't if you listen to my definition of what a fancy tiger is, but until I make my own fancy tigers that don't do that, all of the lines of fancy tigers will throw tie bees, Nanashi, or the Galaxy tigers, and you can keep all the reds and blacks, the white dominants, the red dominants, all together in the same tank. It makes a really nice higher end mix-up tank. Then on the lower end, you've got Tang Tai. These are just tangerine tiger hybrids, but there are a ton. You've got a taper. There are a ton of different phenotypes that can come out of the tangerine tiger hybridizations. A lot of them will be mainly orange, but you can get steels out of these. You can get other pinto varieties. There's just a lot of different splotchy kind of tiger looking shrimp that come out of it. So that's like a poor man's mosh pit. If you want a lot of varieties, get some Tang Tai off the website, throw them all together, and you'll get a bunch of different varieties and phenotypes that'll come out of there, and a lot of interesting ones too, off of getting some pretty cheap shrimp. So which shrimp are in there? I think you're talking about that tank, and Shelby already answered that. And then you've got tie bees. Technically, tie bees include pintos, skunks, a whole different variety of different double pigmented hybrids, right? You can throw all of them together, and that's pretty much like a more expensive Tang Tai hybridized tank that you can keep them all together. You can keep those with the Tang Tai and mix them all together, and you'll just get a real mix of both. You'll get less of the really nice ones like the pintos, especially the galaxies and stuff like that. But it is a really nice mosh pit tank, especially when you get into Caridinas. You don't really have to worry about the wild type varieties and stuff like that. So those are cool. But probably the coolest one out of all of the Caridina shrimp that you can keep together are going to be the calcio mixes. You can do the red calcios, the black calcios, the blues or the blue dragons, and then also the red scorpions, all in the same tank, and you're not going to get anything other than calcios. I'm not sure if that's true with like the orange-eyed varieties or anything like that, but so far we've got our black orange-eyed calcios with our black calcios, and we're still getting nothing but a mix of the two. So as long as they're pure calcios, I'm sure you could throw the orange eyes in. But where did the orange eyes come from? I can't answer that. Those are still one of the mysteries I've yet to solve, and maybe I'll outlive Yui to figure out the secret one day. Can you do a poster or a paper or a book or something on all of this? I don't know when that'll be, but definitely one day. Joey talked us into doing like a picture book, so we haven't even started on it yet, but that's more my thing, right, Scotty? Pictures, don't really want to read, definitely don't want to write. A nice picture book, something that you can just pop a squat, take a seat, relieve yourself, and just look at some good photos, right? So that's probably on the to-do list. Once we get that figured out, then I can move on to other bigger and better, more knowledge pumping material, right? But I don't have time for that right now. I'm spending too much time with this little one, and I'm not complaining.
Have a good night, vibes. And then Bugsy said, "What shrimp were in there?" So there's extreme black king conchs in there, but there's something else in there because they do have like a pattern on their
So
head.
those are all the cull shrimp from Plamsky. So
Yeah,
there was
but
like
they're really pretty. They're all just, most of them are just extreme
not
black
even
king conchs
not even
right
cull
now.
shrimp. It was after we got done catching all the shrimp in his tanks. At the very end of the night, there was like 3 here, or 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, and we threw them all into one bag, and they went into that tank.
She's very vocal tonight. Yeah, I need a flow chart visual aid. I would have a page on the website that shows it all. So I also thought it would be great to have a page on our website for the ice cream and like have a map of all the ice cream places we visited and the ratings. Bugsy said, "Are the pure red and black line Caridina the easiest to keep pure?" What?
And the least amount of culling to keep the line clean. Technically, the purest lines are all going to be easiest to keep pure because as long as you don't cross anything in them, they should stay pure. So that's true with pure red lines. That's true with pure tigers. That's true with anything that's pure. Our Taiwan bees, there's a reason why anytime I get a line of Taiwan bees, I breed it out 3 or 4 generations before I offer it for sale. I've got to find a way this year to sell, I don't know what to call them, like dirty Taiwan bees, because they look like Taiwan bees, but I know I don't know what that was.
Must have been your dog. He must have felt something. He scared the crap out of him.
Maybe a chair hitting the tanker stand or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what to call them, but I've got Tai bees that look identical to pure Taiwan bees, but I know the genetics produce like Pinto wannabes, right? So I can't sell them as such. But there's people that just want the look of shadow pandas. They don't care if they're pure or not. And I got to find a way to market them. And I don't know, maybe dirty shadow pandas. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Dirty shrimps. Dirty jeans.
Dirty rice. That's what I'm
Johnny
thinking.
does. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says this topic is superb. Thanks.
I don't know if Shelby came up with this topic, but somebody else also was messaging me and trying to figure this out. And this next line is for you. Horrible with names. Can't remember what it was. But they wanted to keep Galaxy Pintos like boas, steels, Tai bees, and pintos. Maybe something else other in the tank. But then they wanted to include blue bolts, and I was like, you don't need blue bolts if you're already doing blue steels. Keep the blue bolts with the Taiwan bees. I didn't really talk about the Taiwan bees. Let me go back to Taiwan bees for a second. Taiwan bees include blue bolts, shadow pandas, black king kongs, regular pandas, red king kongs, red Missoura, shadow Misuras. I don't know if I said red bolts and blue bolts or not, but all of those shrimp are all Taiwan bees, and you can keep them all together, and they can't produce anything other than just pure Taiwan bees, right? So a blue steel is just a hybridized blue bolt. So when you're keeping a cross tank that already has Tai bee and Galaxy Pinto genes in it, you don't want to use blue bolts. You might as well just use blue steels. They're a little bit cheaper, and they look a little bit better overall, in my opinion, with less work.
I think she's still hungry, so I will be back in a little bit.
All right. What's the best setup for your tiger shrimp breeds? I think they do best in a lower pH tank, aqua soil. The aged aqua soil tanks do a little bit better. You stub your toe?
No, my knee.
Oh, she slammed her knee on one of the rides earlier. I do find like my 2 to 4 year old Aquasoil tanks do really good for the tiger shrimp, but they do just fine in the lower pH tanks also. 0 kH and about 72 degree temperature, maybe cooler than that, a little bit better, but definitely not warmer than 72. And they breed quite prolific for us, especially the tangerine tigers. Also the super tigers this year we've got going really, really well. But back to the topic, the galaxies, the boas, the steels, tai bees, and pintos, these are all like a specific type of tai bee, basically. But you can keep them all together. You're not going to get that many boas that'll pop out of them. You're not going to get that many galaxy pintos, but you will get a ton of steels. You'll get a ton of red steels specifically. But you call those out, you call out the ugly tai bees, you can have a really nice tank. You can even get out of that mix, you'll get the galaxy tigers and then the Nashi and the Nancy patterns as well. I think the baby needs to poop sometime. No, she just changed her. That's what she had just done. I think she might be hungry though. She didn't eat that much today while we were at the fair, and that's what we got home. I knew that Shelby was going to have to feed her. So I was about to suggest pushing Skittles Caridina because they don't brown out. They just keep surprising me in my mix tank. Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to get sued by Skittles, right? So I like people to build their own hybridized Caridina tanks. Newts, no, not Fire Belly. We've got the Lewistic Spanish Rib Newts. We got those babies. I could also breed my non-Lewistic ones also right now. I just got to move some fish around, and I just prefer it to warm up outside a little bit more. I think I got 2 more weeks, and then I can start putting fish outside. I got to double check the Florida Weather Almanac on that, but yeah. So I'll go over the newts later. I gotta finish up this topic. I'm well over an hour now. No, not well over an hour, but well over our 9 to 10 featured time that I like to do our topic in. And then we've got Sulawesi shrimp. You can keep pretty much all of the varieties of Sulawesi shrimp in the same tank, and for the most part, 99.9% of the time, you won't get any hybridization. There have been a few reports of people keeping mixed tanks and getting some weird oddballs. Some people call them like mules because nobody ever gets them to like breed and reproduce themselves. Also, other people get like randomized mutations and stuff like that happen in their Sulawesi tanks. So who's to say it was just a mutation or something like that too, and not a cross. So feel free to mix up your Sulawesi shrimp. If you do get something cool, pretty much it'd be a one of a kind shrimp, and I don't think anybody's really going to complain about that, especially the Sulawesi varieties. None of them really look dull in color except for the Malala. They're kind of like the ghost shrimp of the Suluwesis. I wouldn't suggest calling them Skittles, but the mixed tanks are really cool, and people should be more excited about mixed Caridina than the mixed Neos. Way cooler results. Yeah. We got to figure out a way to push the Caridina hobby as a whole. And I think the way to do this, for me anyways, is to help people out with the RO water. It seems to be a big scare factor when getting into the hobby. A lot of people don't want to deal with plumbing or this or that. And I've got like an idea of like a super, super easy RO video that I want to throw together to get people started in the hobby. And then I think once I have that, I can do another, like an updated simple Caridina tank, and then like, hey, what to throw in the tank, and then I'll talk about the Skittles and get people interested in that too, right? So hopefully one day this year we'll get to that. Yeah, the water chemistry is the limiting factor for many people with Caridina, but it's not even like you're doing the chemistry. It's you need an RO unit you need GH only salts, and then you need the aqua soil, and all the chemistry pretty much is taken care of for you. So that's about that. All right. So then, say the best for last. This is the ultimate shrimp mosh pit tank. You're going to take some stardust, some raccoons, leopard tigers, galaxy tigers, some Hummel shrimp, if you can get your hands on them, right? This is like a dream mix too, because I can't get my hands on leopard tigers or galaxy tigers. So, but you can throw those in the mix, and you can throw all of those with super princess bees, and you throw those all together. Why? You can also throw in blue bee, Paracaridina into the mix also, and you can do that because they can all take a acidic water parameter, and they will not crossbreed. They won't make any mutts. So a lot of these types of varieties that we're talking about will make mutts. I talked about the pure ones that won't make mutts also. But so far, none of those can crossbreed and make mutts. Then you can throw in your favorite Caridina shrimp. You can throw in your favorite Neocaridina shrimp. So for me, I would do like green emeralds for the Neocaridina, and for Caridina, I mean, I would choose kiwis, but I'm gonna go with orange-eyed shrimp for my mix. So I'll do like orange-eyed royal blue tiger, and then you can pick out any Neocaridina. The Neocaridina can go in the acidic water, and you won't have any issues as long as you slowly acclimate the neos to the acidic parameters. And then if you didn't want to do acidic water and you wanted to do neutral water, you can keep all of the tiger shrimp, the stardust, the raccoons, and the Neocaridina, and then you can throw in the Malala, the Sulawesi shrimp into the mix also, and that would be your next, like the poor man's dream mosh pit tank, right? Or the lazy man's, call it what you want, right? And then I'm not sure if I missed any, like just mosh pit tanks or pure tanks that you could keep together. I was planning on getting home a lot earlier from the fair today and being able to take like a lot more time on my notes. Like usually my notes have little tabs, and those tabs have notes to them as well. And I just didn't get to all of that for today. But then I do have the new update, since we have been talking about that. On one of the live streams, we did point out that we had fertile new eggs. I do think they were hatched last week. And I did know that they could only live for so long off of the little tiny microorganisms that were already in the tank. Like there's a lot of seed shrimp and detritus worms and stuff like that. Rondulus worms, right? I think I got that. All already in the tank. You want to make sure that they get food because they can be carnivorous and start eating them. So right now I'm making sure that none of them get too big so that they can start eating their siblings. But they did get some Daphnia shrimp, and they ate through those quite fast. So I had to jump in action and get the brine shrimp hatchery going. And it's not like I had to order it. I had these already planned out in advance. We have 2 Zis breeder boxes. I only set up one of them because we don't have nearly that many things in the house. And I mentioned I didn't use a heater in the tank. I don't need brine shrimp every single day. If I did need brine shrimp every day, then I would more than likely get both of the brine shrimp hatcheries going, so that way I can have fresh every single day and wouldn't need the heater still. But for now, I have enough brine shrimp that lasts me for like 3 days in the little hatchery, and they're surviving for 3 days too. I use 2 tablespoons of basically pool salt from Home Depot, and then the Aquarium Co-op brine shrimp eggs. I used a teaspoon of eggs, And then I only have really the newts. We've got maybe 10 tanks of guppies and endlers in the house. I fed some to the forgot like one of the only fish that I care about in the whole house, tiger limias, and all the little. We have some of the Pensacola newt tanks got them, or the Eastern newt, not the Pensacola newts. What am I talking? But yeah, I didn't. I had way too much brine shrimp, and brought all the rest out to the rice fish ponds outside. So for 3 days, pretty much one hatch got me enough brine shrimp, and I feed off the newts. And then tonight, I'm gonna basically start a brand new hatch, and then I won't have any at all tomorrow. But all the newts, all their bellies are quite full and pink. You can literally see the baby brine shrimp in their bellies. So they're growing front legs already. So I am a little excited about that. They've got their gills. They look like little tiny baby axolotls still. They'll eventually get the back legs and then grow out of the gills and then turn into ugly adults. Like they're pretty ugly, I gotta admit, but I think they're really cool and interesting swimming around in a planted tank. But yeah, they're pretty ugly when it comes to things you can keep in your tank, I would say. Do neos always eat other dead neos, or is there anything that you would have seen that would make them know not to eat them? Yeah, no, they always eat it. If they're hungry, they're gonna eat another shrimp. So if you have like some type of parasite or bacterial infection that made the shrimp sick, you definitely want to get it out of that tank. Sometimes if the shrimp die of old age, or sometimes they get stuck in a molt or something like that. As long as the shrimp gets eaten fairly quickly, I won't remove it out of the tank. But if you're having issues, it's generally a good idea to get the shrimp out of there as soon as possible. What is the minimum quantity of shrimp to start with, 6 or 12? I would do 12, especially as a beginner. You never know what kind of issues you're going to have, and when you have issues, it's always going to affect your females first. So when you have some shrimp that die off, chances are your females are going to die first. And if you start with 6 shrimp and you have 3 females and you lose those 3, and then you're left with 3 males, and you're not going to get any breeding out of that. Pepsi Cola newts. My water is rock hard, so Caridina is not a good option. I mean, our water is rock hard, but we got an RO unit. So yeah, you got to have the RO unit regardless of how your water comes out of the tap water, in my opinion. So the brine shrimp, we didn't use a heater. I do have a light bulb that was like meant for a betta tank, and it's nice and small, and it fit underneath the legs that came with the Zis hatchery. I haven't made my little hatchery setup in the garage above the sink yet. It's a little bit too cold in the garage to be hatching brine shrimp, so I am using the kids' bathroom. It's a little bit warmer in there than the garage, so I don't know, not 24 hours, 48 hours, like 36 hours, I would say, and they pretty much all hatched. So quite happy with that. Didn't need a heater. In the garage in the summertime, they're going to be hatching probably every day for me. So I'll probably only be using one of the Zis hatcheries this year. I've told myself I'm not going to be adding any fish. Maybe I do something outside, and I'll need a lot more brine shrimp in the future. But yeah, there's a lot of pollution when it rains, and you got to keep whatever rain catcher that you have pristine, right? If your neighbor 2 doors down sprays any pesticide or Roundup or anything like that, can get into your rainwater system, and that can cause issues. So it's possible if it's pristine and clean. So yeah, the newts are growing. I did move the parents. I don't know if I mentioned that. I moved them up into another tank. So I'm thinking if I do a nice big old water change on them, I'll get another batch of babies. But I don't want too many mouths to feed right now. So I'm not going to force any water change or any breeding on them until I figure out a good system for these guys. But so far, I drained the tank down halfway. The Java Fern is right at the level. If I drained it any lower, I'm going to start losing some Java Fern on the topper piece of the spider wood. But um, they seem to be quite capable of swimming up the half the tank full of water. There's also like 3 inches of substrate, and there's tons of plant life. So they kind of like suction cup themselves to the front of the glass to get up to get air too. So it's kind of cool to watch them swim around. Um, we've almost hit 60K subs. I don't know if Shelby did like a scheduled for next week's live stream or not, but we'll probably do a 60K sub giveaway to celebrate. We also have our Valentine's Day sale going on now, or like a Valentine's Day, President's Day sale. Everything's buy 10, get 3 free tonight. If you are the person that Shelby mentioned before that's waiting for the code, we will get that to you tonight. And we will, of course, honor that sale for you till you're able to get your order in, since you're trying to get it in. But we did take like a couple days away from the computer, had family in town, and then woke up early today and went to the fair. So we just haven't gotten around to the computer to do that yet. The computer is here now in front of me, and I'll try to remind Shelby to get to that once we sign out. I don't know how long Shelby is gonna be gone for. We've got another probably 15 minutes I was going to try to do on the live stream. We don't got any more questions though, or anything else going on. Trying to figure out any other updates for the house. I've just been cruising, getting some water changes done. Did a big old water change on the pool. I'm gonna have to get a brand new pool pump. Well, not pool pump, but a new pond filter. We had the 4,000 gallon per hour pump. That went out on me, so we're using the backup pump. I think the backup pump is only 2,400 gallon per hour pump, and I want to get that pond in mint condition for when Dan comes to town, so that way he can see all the fish and all of the turtles. I did have something in the pond, so I'm not sure if it was a bird or like a raccoon or something like that. They've done this huge, massive clearing of the. It was like a retention pond, but for like the last 3 or 4 years, it's been holding a good amount of water. So it's been like a little mini lake. So I'm not sure if they went through it, dug it out so it would drain better, so it wouldn't be holding water all the time. Like maybe it was like a legal issue or like a potential lawsuit. Some kid got stuck in there or something like that. So I don't know how the end project's going to be, but they cleared out a lot of the woods. So Shelby pointed out there's a lot more birds in our trees, probably a couple more squirrels running around. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a raccoon or possum or something that got relocated and is now living in the like one plot of woods behind our house is like the only plot of woods now. And maybe it found our koi as a little snack. So I did find those on Valentine's Day. That was a little bit sad to wake up to, but I drained the pool down a little bit, and I don't know, gotta figure out a way to get shrimp a little bit more alert so he can chase the birds off. Usually if he's in the backyard, nothing's out there, but he is getting a little older these days and he's not really patrolling in and out of the house as much. So down 2 koi fish, sadly, but hopefully get the water pristine and clear, throw up maybe some fishing line or something like that to prevent any birds from swooping in. But I don't think it was a bird. I think it was a raccoon or something like that was trying to maybe wash them. And then the pool is it's 8 feet. So I'm not sure the raccoon got lucky and sniped them and was trying to clean them and then got scared off by the dog or what. Or a bird tried to grab them, but 2 of them were messed up, and I don't have anything in the pond that would do that. I don't even know what you just said. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Don't know what it is. But yeah, next couple days to get the water changes going outside. I haven't seen any like snakebirds near my house, but we do have a lot of like heron and ibis and the sandhill cranes. So I'm more thinking it's the heron, and it got spooked twice before it could actually gobble up a meal. So. For rare plants, like the vining bulbitis, or it's just luck on swaps. So the Facebook freshwater plant auction group is like the best place for rare plants. I don't know any like websites or anybody that really carries the like really rare plants. But there are a couple people like in the AGA groups. The AGA show, when that happens every 2 years. I think it happened. Yeah, it happened last year, so it won't happen again until 2026. But if you could make it out to one of those, there's an auction on Sunday, and like I never knew there was so many. I knew there's a lot of Java fern varieties, but I didn't know that there was that many people that were keeping that many varieties of Java ferns and Legwidias and Xyrus and Eros and different varieties, probably Bobitis and stuff like that too, that were at that auction. So when people weren't buying stuff on Friday and Saturday, and there's all these plant nerds, and we're like one of 2 or 3 plant vendors, and they had mainly just tissue culture cups. I was like, why is nobody buying any plants? And then on Sunday, it was like rare plant after rare plant in the auction. I was like, that's why. They're saving their money for Sunday. So I know what a snakebird is. We see them all the time on the Wikiwachi, but I don't see them near my house, and I don't see them in any of the like lakes or retention ponds that we go collecting in near our houses or anything like that. See them on the rivers all the time though. They love to dive into the rivers. Man, I'm trying to think of what else is going on. Just trying to fatten up everything at the house, get caught up on water changes. We're just gearing up and getting ready for Colorado. I will be making a good order through the Thailand nursery, getting a bunch of plants. That's kind of on my to-do list tomorrow when I get done with shipping out all our orders. And then I'll be making my normal order from Waterscapes and getting everything shipped to the kids in Colorado. And hopefully we'll get all of our plans figured out for that. It's kind of hard when I got family in town. I'm trying to make plans, figure out how to spend the most time with them, and then figure out how to make it to the Florida State Fair, and then we've got a show to do. So I'm kind of like one thing after another, and then now's time for the other. Do you sketch aquascape ideas before you start, or just go? I don't sketch anything. I'm not like really an artist, but I have been trying to teach Layla to do that. Kevin Kelly is a big sketcher. He sketched his basically demo before he did a whole poster of it before he came and even did the talk. So it was really interesting to see the whole scape come together from just raw materials, and he built it out of thermoplastic. So I've definitely taken I like this aspect of this scape, and I like this aspect of this scape, and I want to throw them together. I've yet to put together my scape idea. I took a clip from Sasha's video that me and him put together when he did his trip here in Florida. So it's my footage, but it's on his video, and I went through and I screenshotted basically like my favorite underwater scene in the caves, and it's got great layers to it, and I really want to scape it one day, but I got to get the right rock. I wanted to do it at the last Aquashella, but like there was no good big pieces of rock, and I could build pieces of rock like to make smaller pieces bigger, but there it would have taken way too much time, and I don't think it just would have looked the best with the color tone that I was trying to go with. So I decided not to do it yet, but maybe one day. And I'm too sore to get back up, so quitter. That's all I hear, and she's given up. So once I'm done with these questions, I guess I'll wrap up, turn off the lights in the house, and get to bed. I know my legs, they're not hurting right now because I'm off of them, but they're probably going to be hurting tomorrow. Yes, Crip got out of the snow. He said his dad came and drove, was only able to get a half mile, and then Crip had to run through the snow and left his car for the tow truck company. So, yeah, he's safe at least. Didn't freeze through the night. Hey, you won first place, and you sketched it sort of on the front of the tank. Yeah, so I guess in Dallas, I kind of like already had like a layout that I wanted to do, and I just kind of sketched it on the front, but I didn't plan ahead. I just kind of drew it there and then put it together, I guess. I don't know. I just knew the angles that I needed to achieve. All right. My tap water is 0 to 1 kH and 5 to 6 GH. Would raccoon tigers be suitable? Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. Shelby's got it. That it was more outlined than sketched. So I just kind of made like a template that I needed to follow, and then I followed. Stephen P with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. I know one thing Shelby has to do this week, and it's get your box out. We have a little box for you. Layla drew up something for you guys, so we have to get that out this week. And at the same time, she's got to do something for the kid up the road. So it'll be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And it's been on our to-do list for a while. I think we can get it done this week. Hey, Grant and Shelby, I still have CPDs and Neos I got from y'all a few years ago. How are you doing, Mississippi Hippie? Hope you're doing well. Glad to hear all the fish and the shrimp are doing good. I wish I had CPDs still. I don't have any. I know I said I don't want any fish in the house, so I don't want any fish in the house. I want to get my tank scaped and finished, and I'll probably do CPDs if I can get my IAPCL tank done or one of those online contest tanks done. I'll get CPDs for them. I think that's the reward I can give myself, some fish, only if I do that tank. Well, I'm glad to hear. I didn't see you or Hippie John this year, so hopefully that, or last year, so hopefully that changes this year. Green neon tetras are the only fish you need. I'm gonna say no to those, but not this year. Maybe in the future. But I am gonna wrap it up on that note. We do have some of the bleeding heart tetras that are like the toughest, most hardy fish that I think we've kept in the house. They've survived through so many different algicide treatments, and like when we were trying to kill cyanobacteria without using the maricin, and we were going through all different things, hydrogen peroxide and different algicides, and yeah, that they survived everything. Where other fish started to lose one here or there, we never lost a single one of those bleeding heart tetras, and they were in a bag for an extra day longer because like we weren't even planning on buying them, but Layla won them in the raffle at Sabu's show. So The APT Fix Light from 24 Aquatics works for me great, no deaths. I haven't tried anything from them. I think that's the one that Chance promotes, and we don't use a lot of product. So, and you downsize from 30 tanks to 8. Well, hopefully, got some really nice stuff in those 8 tanks. I actually have some of your guppies still. Your guppies are one of the 4 strains of guppies I think we still have in the house. And Shelby said, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sorry for being late. And she should also say sorry for leaving early. But I'm just messing. Thank you guys. Really appreciate everyone's support. It is our normal time to signing off. We are 30 minutes shy of completing a full 2-hour stream, though. Hopefully you forgive us. I am womp, though. I am dead. I didn't burn. Stayed out of the sun because I was keeping the baby out of the sun the whole day today. But I remember when you came and did a presentation at my local Massey Fish Club. We'll be passing through Massey later this month. Not Massey, but Missouri. Hopefully get to see Lady Diane and Josh. So good night, all. Have a good weekend. I'm not sure what the live stream is going to be next week, but we are going to do a 60K sub giveaway. So appreciate all of you. Have a good one. Until next time,